A big win for the Brooklyn Nets, 114-106 over the Utah Jazz. That's 6 wins in the last 7 games, including 3 of 4 at home to improve to 38 and 34 on the year. Kevin Durant, the story in this one, no doubt about it, 37 points on 15 of 23 shooting, 4 of 7 from deep, but leading as a facilitator too, totaling 9 rebounds and 8 assists, and a bit of history tonight too in a number of ways. His 20th 30-point game of the season, that's 4th most in Nets history, and passing Jerry West for 22nd on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Just impressive stuff from KD with that ability to take over the game despite all the defensive attention coming his way. There was a lot of off-balance, difficult shots. In some ways, that's what you kind of expect from KD, but in others, there's a little something extra. You could call it an intervention with the crowd, a stare down at the opposing bench, or just that little bit of a killer instinct.
I apologize if this question comes off a little stupid, but Kevin's good all the time. Does he look more locked in during this stretch, the way he's playing for you guys right now, or is it typical Kevin?
Somewhere between typical and more locked in. You know, he is, I don't want to say that he's not, always competing at a high level, but he was terrific tonight, obviously.
You seem to be more riled up than usual, the way you were egging on the crowd and everything. I mean, just what was behind that tonight?
I mean, y'all say that every game. It's probably just who I am at this point. You know what I mean? always riled up. I like playing, I enjoy the competition that's out there. It's one of the best teams in the league. Got some great players on this team, so they bring the best out of you. I just try to be there for my guys and, feed off the crowd, and I want the crowd to feed off me as well.
And second, it just seems that anytime someone trash talks Kevin, he kind of just responds with a bucket or several buckets. Yeah. Do you ever wonder why?
You can't talk to him. I don't know why people are talking to him. Just don't get him going. You don't want to get him going.
And that attitude seeped into this entire team, as it was not just a one-man show, rather a complete effort from Brooklyn, specifically from the big men. They got some bad news before the game. Andre Drummond sidelined due to illness. Steve Nash hopes it works itself out, but didn't play in this one. And Nick Claxton, who's already been tasked with stepping up big in the wake of LaMarcus Aldridge, did so even more tonight. 15 points, 7 of 8 shooting, and even 4 assists. Equally significant contributions from Blake Griffin, someone who, in the postgame, were common themes of just how proud the team was of him. Only playing sparingly as of late, asked to take on minutes early in this one, and he does what he does best. He brings some great energy on both ends of the floor, finishes with 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 2 other big performances to note. A tremendous night for Bruce Brown once again. He had a few quick scoring bursts in this one. All of a sudden, 22 points he finishes with, 7 rebounds, 5 boards, and 7 of 9 from the free throw line. And then you got to mention Patty Mills too. Coach Nass referenced the bit of a shooting slump Mills has been in as of late, but he looks like he might have broken out of it tonight, cashing in 3 triples, 15 points. And none of these accolades even include Kessler Edwards, James Johnson, and the other guys that gave the Nets really good minutes tonight. All around, a really great team effort. And a key theme across all of those stat lines is the number of boxes they fill. The results of it showed. The Nets dished out 31 assists as a team compared to just 19 from Utah. There was concern on the boards, rightfully so, with Rudy Gobert on the other end, but the Nets, even with that depleted front court, win the rebounding battle 41-37 as well. So the Nets really seemed to figure something out after leading by 2 at the break. They used that size disadvantage that they had as a real speed advantage. And what you saw from that was Utah doubling Durant nearly every time he touched the ball, giving him some great matchups against Utah's forwards. A lot made on social media about Royce O'Neal, while also opening up opportunities for other scorers as well. Then that third quarter starts with a bang. Nick Claxton, a couple big dunks, some buckets from Bruce Brown, a 10-0 run from Brooklyn, grows a 3-point lead into 13 by around the 6-minute mark. And then defense played a big part in that too. KD obviously taking over down the stretch, setting up Claxton for an alley-oop, and he drills back-to-back threes, finishes with 15. In that quarter alone, the Nets built up a really good lead at that point, and Mills opened up the fourth quarter with back-to-back threes, and with that set a franchise record for threes in a season with 212, so congrats to him. And KD knocked down a few more buckets. All of a sudden, the Nets are up by 21, really got it going in the second half. Looked like they were going to cruise a late Utah run, 10-2, then actually a 16-4 run. They were coming back quite a bit. Cut things to single digits. KD, though, he rose up yet again, did what he does. He, last play of the game, escapes the double team, sets up Claxton for one more lob to ice it. And just impressive stuff from KD, an impressive win for the Nets, considering the circumstances here. No Drummond. Dragic, who was starting as a game-time decision due to an injury suffered against Portland. Seth Curry exited this one early with a left ankle sprain. Now, that could be concerning, as it's an injury the Nets have seen before, but they were optimistic based on what Coach Nash said in the postgame that this one will not be too bad. One other piece of news coming out before the game, confirmation of a herniated disc for Ben Simmons. Question marks over how that epidural worked for him and the pain relief he's getting. But again, Coach Nash is optimistic Simmons will play this season. And also, again, regardless of who's on the floor, that goal for the Nets remains the same: to improve each game and to play as a complete unit. Tonight, a really, really big step forward on that. Maybe it's the focus Coach Nash preaches, or maybe it's the street ball attitude you hear from Andre Drummond. But either way, it is working, and the Nets will hope to keep that going on the road for 2 big games against Memphis and Miami, 2 tough games, before returning home to take on the Hornets on March 27th. Wrapping things up with WFUV Sports, I'm Alexander Wolz.